Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this video is to show you how to set a meeting by using a phone conversation. This usually will happen when you're starting to prospect on Facebook or LinkedIn or you're cold calling. You have to ease on in to where the tenant wants to meet face to face. So that's what this presentation is about. The art of conversation, the assurance way to set up a meeting. Now, let's talk about why conversations are important. Conversations facilitate meetings. Meetings facilitate tenants becoming clients. The more clients you have, the bigger your pipeline. So, conversations are really the grease for the engine itself that is going to give you a chance to get out there and make the deals that you want to make this year. Now, before you actually make the call, and let's say that somebody on LinkedIn says, well, I'll meet with you by phone on Monday and it's Friday and you're trying to figure out what you need to do. The first thing you want to do is do your homework on the prospective client. So look at his LinkedIn page, look at his Facebook page, his Twitter account, the company website, and Google him. Use that data to find out whether or not he's published. Look at whether or not he has a family. How many employees are in his company? Is there anything interesting or unusual going on with this company right now? Have they been in the news recently? Who are their competitors? These are things you want to know. What church does he go to? What side of town does he live on? You want the more data you know. Does he have hobbies? The more data that you know, the more comfortable you get. It's not just the fact that you're looking up information for the sake of looking it up. The reason you're doing your homework is you will literally feel more comfortable talking to anyone when you've taken the time to really get to know them. And let me tell you a secret about this business. If you care about somebody enough and you can sincerely show that you care, you don't have to make a sale at all. They're going to choose you because they want to work with you. You want to get to know this person enough to where you can find some things maybe you even care about and want to help out with. So identify at least two things in common with this person outside of just the fact that they're in an office space, retail or industrial space, and you want to represent them. So find something that's in common. Did you go to the same school? Do you both have a family? Did you work at the same place in the past? Something, at least two things that are in common. Now, homework, the homework list continued would be look up the tenant's current broker, the building information, the tenant roster, and picks. Now, this can be a little confusing. I'm going to explain what this means really quickly. Now, the tenant's current broker, that's their landlord broker. Every single tenant you talk to that's in a space right now, they're in some kind of a building or structure. Almost 95% of all of these structures have a agent that's in charge of doing deals in that particular building. And the way that we find almost all of this information is really easy. You just go on a website page here. Now, I went straight to my office space here, and you can see that all my building data is right here. Here are the pictures, obviously. Here are different pictures. Here's all the building information you're looking at as far as total space available, the rental rates right here, the size of the building class, all that stuff's right there for you to see. And the way that you get there is quite easy. You just type in the address in Google. So 16770 Imperial Valley Drive, that's my address. Boom, it goes straight to a loopnet.com link. That's what you want to look for. It's loopnet.com. If you don't see that, you may see another like City Feed or Honest Buildings, but always go to LoopNet because they're the best at having descriptive data. Click on that link and it takes you right to this page. So you want to get comfortable with your market information as well. And the way that I recommend you do that is take the time to look at the videos that are made uh, with me breaking down the market. I'm going to give you insights on buildings that you haven't been in yet. And just watching that particular part of the market is going to give you data that you can share that's not even listed online. Outside of the videos you can watch from Assurance on the YouTube channel, you can also look on LoopNet again for more information. They can show you all kinds of market data here. And that's in another video that you guys need to watch to learn how to use LoopNet effectively. Okay, so once you've done the pre-call homework, you're stoked, you know about this person inside and out, it's time to make the call. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you call on time. The worst thing you can do is call late. It just really sets precedent, and it almost kills your chances of having a real relationship if they can't trust you from the very beginning. So call on time. If anything, call 2 minutes early just to make sure, but don't call too early. Okay, but a little bit early is okay, definitely not late. So call on time, open with a huge smile. No, they can't see you, but you can hear a smile. So make sure you're smiling really big. You don't want to sound salesy, but you want to sound happy to hear from them. Make sure that the call quality is excellent. What I mean by that is make sure you have a wired headset. I know some of you have some really expensive Bluetooth headsets, and some of you have just wireless headsets. I would go ahead and just get a $2, $3 wired headset. They're really cheap from Amazon. Plug them into your phone when you make the call. Make sure that the reception is great, because there's nothing worse than not being able to hear what the person is saying. It almost kills the chance, again, of connecting with the person. Make sure they can hear you loud and clear. If someone has to say, I can't hear you, or can you speak louder, really, really bad sign. Test your phone out before you make the call so that doesn't happen. So when you make the call, you want to set the tone. And I put a really quick script here. Here's an example. Let's say the person's name is Joe. Joe, first off, thank you for taking the time to connect with me today. I always say that because I want them to know that I'm thankful for the start of a relationship. So once we do that, we can move to setting the scope of the call. So Joe, first off, thanks for taking the time to connect with me today. The purpose of my call is to, and this is where I'm totally transparent and I lay it on the line. Now, since I've done my homework, I probably already know what they're looking for. If they're looking to renew their space or relocate, I don't know that part yet, but I know that they may be in the market. Maybe I know they're in an area that there's lots of options and I can find them a better deal to consider. Or maybe I know they're having problems with their landlord because I've been doing my homework. So what I want to do here is, this is a two-way street. I want to tell them what I want to get from the call, but I also want to tell them, more importantly, what I want to do for them. So the purpose of my call was to connect with you. We're on a LinkedIn network together, and I wanted to find out more about your business to see who I can refer to you. That's one way to go to kind of ease on in. I'm not making the sale at first. I just want to make the connection. Let's say that I know that they need space. I can just tell them. The purpose of my call is to introduce myself and my firm, and to find out more about what your goals are as far as whether or not you're going to stay in your current space or not. That's a little bit more direct. Sometimes I can do that. It really just depends. Before you make the call, you need to know why you're calling this person. Maybe you say just straight out, the purpose of my call here is for us to talk and chat. I want to see if you like me enough to meet me in person. Sometimes being direct is the best way to go. If you know they're looking for space, I know you're in the market for space right now. I just want to see if you're okay with us getting together, because I know some options that you'll like, and we need to get together so I can send that to you. Find a way to explain the scope of your call, and that can change depending on who you're talking to. Then set the timeline. I just wanted to take 5 minutes to chat. Don't make it too long, because you want to set the meeting. I'm not trying to talk to people 10 minutes on the phone. I just want enough time to get them to laugh. I want them to be comfortable. And as soon as they want more, that's when I'm asking to set the meeting. Now, we want to use things in common. When I make that intro that we just talked about, let me go back one. When we make the intro right here, this is where your research pays off, because you want to use things in common to carry the conversation. This is pretty much all I'm really starting off saying, and the rest of this is going to be asking killer questions. So I'm going back here. So I'm going to use things in common for my research to carry the conversation. And these are killer open-ended questions that make the tenant engage and think. Here's an example. You know, how much do you think that your building provides you the value that you want in an office space? That's a yes or no question, and then I have to ask him to elaborate. The best kind of killer open-ended question would be, how do you feel about your office building? How do you feel your building has met your business plan as far as meeting the space needs that you have? Let's see, I don't have to guess. I actually have a group of these questions here that we can bring in. This is in your agent workflow. So What do you think about your current building? What do you love about your building? What do you hate about it? Would you consider a different class building to save on your lease expenses? How efficient is your current floor plan? Are you open to different markets to save money? These are all great questions that really get them thinking. Now, those are very focused on the leasing side of things, which is where we want to get to. But sometimes you may have to ask questions not related to, tenant representation or our process in order to get them comfortable with you. Maybe some of the open-ended questions you ask is, what parts of town have you lived in? Because you're trying to get to know them, remember? So in the beginning, you want to ease into the conversation. So we're not going to start with just specific questions about office, retail, or industrial space. We want to start with questions from your research. So you can ask about where they've lived, what school they went to, or if you know already because you've done your research, you can talk about that. And then eventually you're going to ease on into these questions because it'll get to business pretty quick. And when it does, that's your chance. Now, once you do that, because most of the call is going to be you asking questions and listening. Now, when you're doing that, there's certain bits of information that you want to gather. Now, I haven't listed that here, but I'm going to speak them out. First thing, you want to make sure that they meet your minimum standards. That means that for right now, most of your deals, you need to make at least $4,000 total commission. So those need to be deals that are at least 1,000 square feet or bigger for office space, and it needs to be at least a 3-year term at the very, very least. And so you want to ask at least those questions in the phone call to make sure that you want to meet with this person. Not everybody you talk to are people that you want to meet with. And I would actually argue sometimes the people that you actually talk to and want to meet with you are people you don't want to meet with if it's too easy. Always be careful. The right type of clients are not going to just give you open access. They're going to make you earn it by you taking your time and having a good conversation. So determine internally if it makes sense to meet in person. And if they meet your minimum parameters, then ask for the meeting. Remember, if the person has a true need and you've developed a rapport with this person, they will almost always say yes. If they like you, people work with who they know, like, and trust. And if they like you over the phone, they're going to set up a meeting. And if they're setting up a meeting, you have a over 80% shot once you're in that meeting that you're going to be doing business. So that's why this call is, I would say, almost more important than the actual meeting itself. Now, here's a meeting checklist. When you're setting up a meeting, set the meetings between 1 to 4. Have your calendar ready while you're on the phone with the call. And be sure to check your managing broker schedule as well. Ask me how to get that access just to make sure I don't have another meeting booked. I want to meet when they're able to meet, and I will meet you when you're able to meet. But we want to let the client's timeline rule the day when they're available. And then if we can make it to where I'm available as well so I can be there with you, let's make that happen. If the client wants to do something in the morning and we have to make an exception, we'll do that. We want to let their schedule rule the day. But again, we want to try to set them between 1 and 4 whenever possible. And I would even ask and let the client tell you, well, I can only do the mornings before you set a morning time. Send an invitation to the client and CC your managing broker immediately after the call. You want to set this meeting while you're on the phone. Do not try to call back and set this up later. It's very difficult to do that. When you have them on the phone, go ahead and set your next step course of action. Trust me, it's always better to do it that way rather than wasting potentially weeks trying to track this person down again. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas on how this could be better, please let me know. Did we cover everything that you need to learn? Just send us some comments, and thanks again for your time.